This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter, and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And this birthday boy is a phenomenal point guard and kind of a decent coach at one time or another. Yes, I'm talking about Jason Kidd. He's 48 years old today. He's now the assistant coach for the LA Lakers. He was a good point guard, 10-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA first-team player, and a 9-time All-Defensive Team member. He won only one NBA title. That was in 2011 for the Dallas Mavericks when they took down LeBron and the Heat. And won 2 gold medals for the U.S. in the Olympics, 2000 and 2008. And he's in the Hall of Fame. He would actually play college basketball for the California Golden Bears. And a lot of people say the California Golden Bears, they're not really much of a basketball legendary thing other than Shareef Abdul-Rahim. He would be kind of right. But anyway, he would be drafted second overall in the 94 NBA draft, behind Glenn Robinson, who went to Milwaukee from the University of Purdue. He was named and Rookie of the Year, alongside Grant Hill. It's weird that someone would share the Rookie of the Year award. Kidd would play a couple years with Dallas, and then in '96 he played for Phoenix from '96 to '01, and then he had a great 8-year career with the Nets, or 10-year partner with the New Jersey Nets, getting them to the 2002 and 2003 NBA Finals, which they got crushed by the Lakers and Spurs, respectively. Kidd was traded back to Dallas in the 2008 season, and at 38, he won his only NBA championship when Dallas won the 2011 title. He would finish his career with the New York Knicks at age 40. Then, the following season, he became the head coach of the Nets, who moved from New Jersey to Brooklyn. After one season, he was, quote-unquote, traded to the Milwaukee Bucks, where he coached for 4 years until he got fired in 2018. He was a triple-double threat, kind of like Russell Westbrook now, and he retired ranked third in NBA for triple-doubles with 107, and third in playoff triple-doubles with 11. He ranked second in NBA history for assists and steals, and ninth for three-pointers. Second in assists and steals. I think that's Stockton. So anyway, Jason Kidd was pretty good. He was heavily recruited. Arizona, Kentucky, Kansas, and the Ohio State University, which a few days ago lost as a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament to Ned Flanders and his Oral Roberts Eagles. Kidd shocked everyone by going to Cal Berkeley, University of California, who basically hadn't won a conference title since 1960. In his freshman season, he did pretty well for himself. He was the National Freshman of the Year and part of the All Pac-10 team. He stole 110 basketballs, which was the most by a freshman, and actually set the school record. And is also for assists. Cal got to the NCAA tournament in 1993, where they shocked Duke in the second round of the tournament, before Kansas got them in the Sweet 16. That was amazing. Everyone thought that Duke had the cojones to go back to back to back and win 3 straight titles. As a sophomore, Kidd did better, in a sense. He broke his previous school record for assists in a season and led the nation with 272. He was the first team All-American, the first Cal Bear since 1968 to do that. And he was Pac-10 Player of the Year. California was a 5 seed in the 94 NCAA tournament, but they were shocked by Wisconsin Green Bay by a score of 61-57. He decided to enter the NBA draft in 1994. Cal retired his number 5 jersey in 2004. So he was picked second overall by the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas was suffering in the mid-90s. They once had a season of 11-71, which was pathetic. And this was just before the draft lottery shook things up and tried to discourage tanking. Grant Hill would end up being third overall pick by Detroit. Grant Hill and Jason Kidd played in that 93 game, Cal Duke. In his first year, he did pretty well. He led the NBA in triple doubles, which was shocking as a rookie. He shared Rookie of the Year with Grant Hill, ironically enough. When the Mavericks were in position to draft Jason Kidd, they were 13-69. But Kidd's first season, the Mavericks improved to 36-46, a 23-game improvement, which was pretty good. Kidd was made starter of the 96 All-Star game, his second season. Basically, he was powerful. He was part of the three J's in Dallas, alongside Jim Jackson and Jamal Mashburn. However, things were sour. Mashburn's injury, combined with bad personal relations between the leaders of the team, resulted in the Mavericks taking a step backwards. And Kidd would have problems with his coaches. That meant that Dallas decided to trade him away. He was traded to Phoenix with Tony Dumas and Lord Meyer for Michael Finley, AC Green, and Sam Cassell. Dallas kind of made out like bandits because Michael Finley would be a Dallas legend. AC Green, meh, not so bad. And Sam Cassell was decent. However, Kidd would help Phoenix out a lot. The Suns were 56 and 26 in the 98 season, which was good. They were recognized for their fast-paced style of play, which Kidd led a small lineup of 4 guards and a center. The guards would be Kidd himself, Kevin Johnson, Rex Chapman, and Steve Nash, who Dallas traded away. Memory serves me right. Again, but anyway, they were at the same time with Antonio McDyess at center. This was amazing. Kidd would do pretty well in triple doubles and all that. And the Suns shockingly got Penny Hardaway from the Magic before the 99-2000 season. It was good backcourt. Unfortunately, injuries would derail both Hardaway and Kidd, especially Penny. Kidd helped the Suns shock the San Antonio Spurs in the first round of the 2000 playoffs, but they lost. Unfortunately, Kidd would have problems with domestic abuse and all that. Kidd did pretty well. He got the offensive load. His teammates actually wanted him to be more selfish, which is unlikely. A lot of coaches said, be less selfish, fucker. Sorry for saying that. So anyway, during his stay in Phoenix, Kidd made the All-Star game in 3 of the 4 years he was there. 99 obviously wasn't because of the lockout. He looked good. Unfortunately, the Suns decided to trade him to the New Jersey Nets for Stephon Marbury. There were other players, but basically it was Kidd for Marbury, which kind of was a decent deal. Kidd would join the team, the Nets, that was constructed around a sophomore Kenyon Martin, veterans Kerry Kittles, and Keith Van Horn, alongside rookies Richard Jefferson, Jason Collins, and Brendan Armstrong. The Nets would win 52 games in the 2002 season, 26 game improvement, and the first 50-win season in the franchise's history. He was actually second in MVP voting to Tim Duncan. A lot of people thought that a Kidd deserved to win the trophy, because the MVP, because the Nets were usually doormats and now they're championship contenders. Well, it didn't help that the Eastern Conference basically was a bit weak, if you will. The New Jersey Nets basically were the best of a bad bunch, if you will. Despite the fact that the Nets choked the biggest fourth quarter collapse in playoffs history, which the Celtics came back from 21 points down in the fourth quarter to win Game 3. The Nets did win 3 straight games to get that. The Nets were swept by Shaq and Kobe. 2003, the Nets were good again, 49 wins, and they got to the title and all that. After splitting the first 4 games of the first round with the Milwaukee Bucks, the Nets went on a 10-game winning streak. They won 2 straight from the Bucks. Then they swept the Celtics and Pistons to get to the NBA Finals. But San Antonio took them out in 6 games, even though the Nets actually had it 2-2, had it at 2-2. There were rumors that Jason Kidd was going to go to San Antonio and all that. But Jason Kidd decides to stay with the Nets on a 6-year, $99 million deal. Unfortunately, the Nets did not get to the 3rd straight NBA Finals. Detroit dethroned them in the conference semifinals. Jason Kidd had to go through surgery to repair a knee, and he returned in time for December, at the same time as the Nets getting Vince Carter from my Raptors. Fuck. So basically, Carter and Kidd were a good 2-man group, and basically the Nets snuck into the playoffs on the final day of the year. Although Miami would sweep him. Kidd would do pretty well for himself. 2007, they did good. Kidd and Carter were the first teammates to record triple doubles in the same game since Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen in 1989. Of course, in the first round of the 2007 postseason, those pesky Nets sent the Raptors reeling, even though the Raptors won the division title. Kidd looked pretty good for himself. There were rumors that he was going to be traded, notably to the Lakers, but the Lakers didn't want to give up Andrew Bynum. Guess they should have. Kidd was then traded to Dallas, the team that originally drafted him. At the trade deadline, Kidd and Malik Allen would go to Dallas in exchange for Devin Harris, Devin George, Jerry Stackhouse, Desenia Diop, Maurice Egger, 2 first-round picks, and $3 million. However, the trade fell through when George invoked his Larry Bird rights, as was stipulated in his contract at this time. However, the trade still kind of went on. Devin George was replaced in the trade by Trenton Hassel, and Jerry Stackhouse was not traded. It was Keith Van Horn. Because NBA officials informed the Mavericks that if Stackhouse was in the deal, he could not resign with the team if the Nets had to buy his contract. And Antoine Wright was also added to the thing. So the trade on February 19th was Kidd to Dallas alongside Allen Wright. Well, Malik Allen and Anton Wright for Keith Van Horn, Devin Harris, Desana Diop, Trenton Hassel, Maurice Egger, and first-round picks. Basically, Jason Kidd would do much better, it seemed. He wanted to give Dallas a chance to do well and all that. The New York Knicks wanted him after the 2009 season, but Kidd decided to stay with Dallas. And boy, you gotta be glad he did, especially in 2011 in the NBA Finals. That basically he beat the super team of the Miami Heat to win the title. It was amazing, despite Nowitzki being injured. The 2011 Mavs were pretty good. The Mavericks' run to the final would be huge. They took care of Portland in 6. They swept the 2-time defending champion Lakers. They swept them, not just beat them. They swept them. Oklahoma City was bounced by Dallas in 5 games, and then in the NBA Finals, the Mavericks won in 6 games. At 38, Jason Kidd was the oldest starting point guard to lead his team to the title. Kidd would sign with the New York Knicks in 2012. So, yeah, he would play a little bit. He only played 1 season with the Knicks and all that. Ironically, when he retired, it was a couple of days after his fellow co-rookie of the year, Grant Hill, retired. Weirdly enough, a few days after he was retired, he was named head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. He was the third player in history since the merger. NBA merger to debut as an NBA head coach the season after he retired as a player. And he even bought a minority ownership stake in the team. The Nets retired his number 5 jersey before a preseason game against the Heat. Unfortunately, Kidd had to miss the first 2 games of the season because of pleading guilty to a DWI. All that. Jason Kidd would be involved in a weird incident in his first year. He was fined $50,000 by the NBA for instructing his player to bump into him and spilling a cup of soda onto the court to stop the game so that his team could drop a last-second offensive play against the Lakers. The Nets were terrible and all that, and people thought that Kidd couldn't manage a group of veterans like KG, Paul Pierce, and Joe Johnson. But the Nets were 44-38, which was amazing. Kidd helped out. And unfortunately, in the first round of the playoffs, Jason Kidd sunk the Toronto Raptors in Game 7 on the road. He was actually the 19th rookie head coach in league history to coach his team in a decisive Game 7 on the road, and the first one to win it. Wow. He was the first rookie head coach to coach his team in a decisive Game 7 on the road. Wow. But the Nets got taken down by Miami in 5 games. Milwaukee, strangely enough, got Kidd's coaching rights from Brooklyn in exchange for 2 second-round picks. People were not happy with Jason Kidd, bolting from Milwaukee and all that. He did lead Milwaukee to the playoffs. as a 16 in the 2015 season, and was third in Coach of the Year voting. Jason Kidd would be actually credited for helping Giannis Antetokounmpo get his positioning through. He did okay in a sense. He would become an assistant coach for the Lakers in July 2019. And of course, the Lakers are the defending NBA champions. So, yeah, so he had a lot of good jobs and all that. And of course, he got 2 gold medals with the U.S. national team and all that. He had a lot of problems in his personal life. He married his first wife in 1997, but he had domestic abuse charges and was ordered to attend anger management for 6 months. He completed the mandatory counseling and actually attended on his own terms. Like, he and his wife were active in their church and thought they would reconcile. Unfortunately, Jason Kidd filed for divorce because of his wife and all that. The couple had 3 children: TJ, born in 1998, who's 23, I guess, and twins Maya and Giselle. Kidd then would marry a former model and have 2 kids with her. So Jason Kidd played almost 1,400 games in his NBA career. Only 12.6 points a game and 8.7 assists. That doesn't sound right. He went to the playoffs, had a few good playoff runs, but he only won one title. That was in 2011 with the Mavericks. And his coaching career, hit or miss. He only won 1 playoff round, and that was against the Raptors. Jeez. Don't you just hate when that happens? But anyway, Jason Kidd is a pretty powerful point guard. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.